Ground ball. McLean, second. 12 in a row. The oldest team in professional baseball has its 5th ever winning streak of a dozen straight.
Our job every day is to try to kick somebody's ass. I mean, that's why we're here.
That is caught. Left center. Reds win.
And this ball is launched high and very deep to right, long gone. It's second of the night. Elly De La Cruz.
Short lead for Pena. Larkin drills it. Do you believe this? It's going to be gone. Back to back. Walk-off home runs. How about this? He's back. He's back. He's back.
And a swing and a drive. Deep left field. This one belongs to the Reds. Swung on and hit deep to left field. That ball is going to be gone. Home run from the Reds for a tie to score.
Goes to second one. Around to first. Got a double play. And the Reds sweep the Cubs. Breaking ball. Hit high. Hit deep. Way back there. And gone into the second deck and left. Christian Encarnacion Strand walks it off.
Archer does it in his major league debut. He gets the final 3 outs, and the Reds get an extra inning win. A thriller 5-4.
Swung on. Fly ball. Hit to deep right field. That ball is going to be gone. A grand slam home run by Mike Cameron.
2 outs, 2 on. Reds down by 1. Larkin down the line. It's a winning. It's a winning. Here comes Tucker. Here comes Steins. Larkin's won the game. Barry Larkin gets mobbed. Look at this scene. It's synergy.
The stretch, the pause and the pitch. And a line drive, base hit left center field. A single for Aaron Boone. And this one belongs to the Reds. The Reds have won 8 in a row.
Kobayashi with a long look turns it loose, and Dunn hits it to deep right. It's all over. And this one belongs to the Reds. The Reds have won their 5th game in a row. They've defeated the Cleveland Indians on an Adam Dunn 3-run home run, 4-2. In on the corners at first and third. 2 on, nobody out. Here's Roy Green pitching, no bunt. Ground ball by the third baseman into left field. Jay Bruce rounds third. This one belongs to the Reds.
That's hit pretty good. Guess what? He doesn't need speed. That's gone. He's the king of the Queen City tonight.
With 1 out here in the 11th inning, you sure got to go now.
1 on, pull down the left field line. That ball is going to get the winning run in. Here comes Jay Bruce rounding third, heading toward the plate. And this one belongs to the Reds.
Huge situation for Votto. Why you paying the big bucks to deliver the goods with 2 outs in the 9th inning? Can he do it? In the gap, right center field, and Votto delivers the goods.
Hit deep center field. Hank Hill going back at the warning track. Oh, it's gone. It's gone. Joey Votto is delivered.
Good morning, Reds fans. Hope everybody's having a fine start to their Wednesday. Welcome to another Chatterbox Reds pregame show. I'm Hunter Hurst. He's Max Alfonso. We're here to preview today's game as the Reds close a 3-game set at PNC Park against the Pittsburgh Pirates. Max, how we feeling on this Wednesday morning?
I guess it's good that we can just get last night out of the way pretty quickly today and hopefully win a ball game. How are you?
I'm hanging in there. I got to go to work after this, so it's
Me too.
this is the good part of the day right now. Not too much to talk about. Reds lose 1-0 in Pittsburgh. 4th time the Reds have lost 1-0 this year. The 8th time in 50 games being shut out. Did the math. That is 16% of the time this year the Reds have been shut out. We'll go ahead and get into it. Really, there's not much to talk about in the first, really, 7 innings. The disaster in terms of managing pinch hitters last night. The Reds obviously struggled against Bailey Falter, which was a surprise to me. I'm sure it was a surprise to a lot of people, considering he had almost an 8 ERA against the Reds in his career. And then the 9th inning, just a hell of an at-bat by TJ Friedl. Base hit through the right side, and then You got two guys on the bench that are way better options against apparently one of our best, or against right-handed pitching, rather than apparently one of our best hitters in Santiago Espanol, in Will Benson and Gavin Lux. What did you think about the decision? Obviously, we talked off air. Nobody's happy about it seems. But what did you think?
So I'll just start with numbers. In the last 14 days, Espinal's hitting 160 with an OPS of just over 420. On top of that, he's only hitting 250 against right-handed pitchers with 0 extra base hits. Last night in that position, you need a guy who can possibly get an extra base hit, pop one over the fence. And there were 2 guys on the bench who could do that. Benson had, I think, 5 homers in 4 days. He's been awesome since he's been back. He did not get an at-bat last night. Gavin Lux, one of the best hitters against right-handed pitching in the National League this year, also was on the bench, did not get that opportunity there. Instead they let Espanol hit, who's hitting 250 against righties with 0 extra base hits. I just don't understand it. The reasoning after made no sense to me. Tito said he didn't, want to play Lux at third because he scratched him 2 days ago with back spasms and he needed a break. We're not asking him to, play a full 9 innings last night. We're asking him to come get one at bat. Maybe it works out, maybe it doesn't, and then go stand at third for an inning or 2. Like, it's not. I just don't. The reasoning was insane to me. And Tito was shocked that he was asked the question why he let Espanol hit. What? There's 2 clear better options on the bench. I would even rather watch Rhys Hines there than watch Espanol. At least he's got a chance to homer. And if you're gonna hit Espanol, why not bunt? Why do the Butcher Boy? They did it the other day and everyone loved it. Just something. You can't just have Espanol up there swinging away. It makes no sense.
Yeah, it really doesn't. And especially the comment, obviously the comment that Santiago Espanol is one of the best hitters on the Reds. If our Hall of Fame manager believes that, that's a problem in and of itself. But you're down 1-0 in the 9th with a guy on first and nobody out. Okay, it's top of the 9th. You still got to get 3 outs either way. We're not walking this game off. I understand. I mean, I can understand thinking towards the bottom of the 9th in a pitching sector, but who gives a damn about defense at that point in time? And if Gavin Lux can't play at 3 outs at third base, that's a problem. But you can also shuffle people around on the infield. It's not like Elly can't play third. McLean can probably play third. Spencer Steer can play third. Hell, Rhys Hines came up as a third baseman. What are we thinking about? Santiago Espanol, I looked yesterday and found out that he had 6 doubles this year. I couldn't tell you the last time one of those happened. Maybe last night, I guess, but I don't get it. I really don't understand the thought process of being stunned by the question that Charlie asked. Is that it's more concerning that Tito was shocked that, hey, you got the National League Player of the Week on the bench who has been hitting the ball to the sun for the last 4 or 5 days. And, well, we're just going to leave him there in crunch time. I mean, what the hell are we thinking about defense for at that point?
You're down 1-0. There's a chance you don't even need defense. So just throw everything at the wall and it was like they gave up. It was like, we're gonna win this game with Santiago Espenol, or we're not gonna win. That's just a crazy way to go down when you have at least 2 minimum capable bats on the bench who can hit the ball over the fence and possibly give you the lead. Instead, Espenol hits into a double play.
Yeah, and obviously this is a completely different conversation if Santiago Espenol gets on base. But I'm a big Santiago Espenol fan. Don't get me wrong. I loved him when he was in Toronto, and the year, Phil told us all to go away, find somewhere else to go, it seemed. Watched a lot of Blue Jays baseball. The guy was an all-star. I think he's a phenomenal defender. But against right-handed pitching, Santiago Espenol is not a good hitter. I mean, let's call a spade a spade. We have access to the data. Lord knows the Reds have access to that there are numbers that say, hey, this guy against left-handed pitching is awesome. That's why he's in the 2-hole last night. That's why he's in the 2-hole today. Still don't understand why he's in the 2-hole against right-handed pitching, but that's
He's one of our best
own.
hitters.
Yep. Oh, Jesus Christ. I don't get it. I really don't get it. We'll go ahead and get into the starting pitching matchup. We both got to go to work after this, so I can't get too angry before I have to go do my job. Today, Brady Singer on the mound for the Reds against Andrew Heaney, another lefty for Pittsburgh. Singer on the year, we'll go ahead and get into him. He is 5-2 with a 5.01 ERA. Been a rough stretch for Brady Singer. I think the ERA is inflated a little bit based on the disaster that he had in Houston, but it seems like when Singer's on the mound, the Reds score a decent amount. I won't call it – I mean, it's almost like the Luke Weaver paradox from a few years ago, is that for whatever reason, when Luke Weaver's on the mound, the Reds turn into murderer's row at the plate. It was insane, and it sort of felt like that at times with Brady Singer. I mean, they hadn't scored – they got shut out twice or 3 times in 4 days, and all of a sudden they explode in Houston for 10 runs in the first inning and score 13 on the day with Singer on the mound. I don't know, but he does get a ton of run support, so hopefully today will be a good day for the Reds. He does not, however, have good numbers against the Pirates in 3 starts. He's 2-1, but a 6.32 ERA with 8 walks and 15 strikeouts in 15 2/3. What are you looking at from Singer today, how he manages this Pittsburgh lineup?
Lately it's been rough for him. I'd like him to get back to how he's pitching at the beginning of the year when he was just carving lineups up and down. I think Brady Singer is a really good pitcher when he's on, when he's locating. I think that's the biggest thing for him is when he's locating his pitches. So, yeah, if he has good command today, I think the Reds will be in fine shape, especially against this Pirates lineup that we'll get to. But yeah, I like Brady Singer, and I think he's gonna give us a good one today. And the Reds really need it today.
Yeah, again, Kirby said it earlier in the year. You shouldn't expect to sweep teams. Obviously, the Pirates are one of the worst teams in the league, but you shouldn't necessarily expect to sweep them, as they still have some big league caliber players on this roster. I mean, they're here for a reason. Brian Reynolds, phenomenal player. ONeal Cruz, for all his faults and all the discourse in Reds Twitter comparing him and Elly. I mean, he's still a solid player with a ton of pop. You just got to take 2 or 3, especially on the road. It's going to be tough to sweep a team in a building that you have not had much success in recent years. Really, I feel like dating back to that wild card game, the Reds don't win there too often. But I don't know. I think for Singer, obviously fastball command early is huge, working that cutter into left-handers and, being able to set up that sinker away that he likes to throw and then being able to miss barrels will be huge. I actually didn't think he was terrible in his last start against Cleveland. Obviously 5 innings, got the win. I believe he gave up 3 or 4 runs, but today should be a bounce-back opportunity for him, much like Lodolo on Monday.
Yeah, when Singer last week against Cleveland, it was really like he battled the entire game, and that's what's nice about having a veteran pitcher like that is when he doesn't have his best stuff, he can figure out ways to just give your team 5 innings, and that's what we've seen a lot of some of the younger guys do on this pitching staff. Abbott on Sunday, he battled for 5 innings when he did not have his best stuff at all. We've seen Greene do that as well, who'll be back Friday, thankfully. It's been nice to see a lot of these guys develop, and Singer, I think, has had a good impact on the young starting pitchers. I'll go over to the Pirates starter now. Andrew Heaney, 2-3 on the year with an ERA at 3, 4.19 FIP, and he doesn't really strike many guys out. Just under 7 Ks per 9. Walks kind of been an issue for him. Doesn't really give up many home runs. It's not really much of a velo guy. Relies on 6 pitches to try and keep the hitters off balance and stuff. But he's had a good career against the Reds. This will be his 4th start, and he's got a 2.6 ERA in his time against the Reds. For the Reds lineup that has faced Andrew Heaney, Austin Hayes has hit against him the most. He's 5 for 12 with 2 homers. Trevino 2 for 10. Elly's homered off of Heaney in 3 at-bats, and then Connor Joe's 0 for 5, and Steer is 0 for 3. What do you think about the Reds lineup today, or the matchup against Andrew Heaney?
I don't mind it. Obviously, Elly hit the grand slam against him earlier this year. I think it's really nice that, your cleanup hitters had phenomenal success against him, 4 extra base hits and 12 at-bats. Looking at Santiago Espenol, for as much maligned as he was in the early part of the show and last night, he's going to be a big piece today, hitting in front of Elly and Hayes, who have had success against this guy. That's just TJ Friedl. And I mean, there hasn't been much talk in my mind about how good TJ Friedl has been to start this year. I mean, he leads the team in walks. He's obviously had some issues, rolling over to first base every now and then. I don't know if that's Jake Fraley rubbing off on him or anything, but I think in the series he's got 5 hits. Obviously, the leadoff triple last night, great at bat, leads into the leadoff single in the 9th. He's starting to heat up. I believe he only has 2 home runs or 3 on the year, but I think he's a big piece. The top of the lineup needs to produce tonight, and go ahead and get into the lineup. Friedl, Espenol, De La Cruz, and Hayes, same top 4. Steer, first base, he'll bat 5th. Stevenson will bat 6th and catch. Connor Joe gets to start in left. Again, the lefty on the mound, thus no Benson, as Chris Kasky says in the chat. Second base, Matt McQueen, he'll bat 8th still in that bottom third of the order. And then Rhys Hines is free. He is in the lineup. That he will actually play against the left-handed pitcher. Obviously, having Hines in the lineup is huge to flip it over or possibly score runs with that bottom third. How do you feel about Hines, McQueen, and Joe as the bottom 3? Obviously not in that order, but how do you feel about them?
Fine with it. I think we're approaching the time where we need to discuss moving McLean back up in the order. Maybe it's just from the Santiago Espanol at bat last night. It's making me feel like that, but yeah. So it's fine. It's a fine bottom 3. You look at the top of the order, like you said, Friedl's been hitting well. Elly's really been struggling lately. Really would like him to get hot. And you mentioned that grand slam earlier in the year against Andrew Heaney. So I'll take another one of those. That'd be fine with me. Steer's been hitting well. Would like Stevenson to get going, and Hayes has been awesome, honestly. So no real issue with the lineup today. I'm happy Hines is in it. Maybe I would flip Joe and Hines, but that's just a minor thing. And you really hope that Gavin Lux and Will Benson will be available today off the bench, unlike last night when they were not available off the bench.
Yeah, and I think obviously last night the Pirates were in a safe spot, and they brought in Bednar, who's had his amount of struggles. Cowboy on the broadcast mentioned Pirates fans were booing when he came in the game. I mean, this guy's a former All-Star, but he's had some issues over the last couple of years. You get in a spot where you have 7, 8, 9 due up in the 9th against Bednar, and I don't see Benson or Lux leading off that inning to take his spot for potential defense or whatever we want to call it. I'm going to be upset. And then the same thing with Hines. I mean, I'm a big Rhys Hines fan. Watching him hit home runs is sure a lot of fun, but I would much rather see Benson or Lux in that spot to take that at bat against right-handed pitching. But, that's further down the line. Hopefully the Reds are able to cash in on opportunities. And I think it's a completely different conversation if they're able to score Friedl from third with nobody out in the first. You get a leadoff double in the 4th. You're not able to score. You can't win games if you don't hit. And obviously it's not Tito's fault that the Reds had 3 hits headed into the 9th against the guy that they have owned throughout his career in Bailey Falter. But we can still talk about the pinch hitting situation all we want. But at the end of the day, the Reds have to score. And they have to score early because they have a really positive record. I think they're 17-8 or something like that whenever they score first this year. So, get on the board early, and you have your bullpen at your disposal today with, guys who've had some rest now. So Pagan and Rogers and all those guys are going to be available. Go ahead into the Pirates lineup. What do you have?
ONeal Cruz leading off, one of the worst defensive center fielders in the game so far this year. Isaiah Kiner-Falefa hitting second at short. Then Reynolds, Horwitz, Canario, the 3-4-5. Key Brian Hayes hitting sixth at third. And then the bottom three, Adam Frazier, former Red, Tommy Pham, and then former number one overall pick, I believe, Henry Davis catching. It's not, the Pirates lineup is not something that puts a lot of fear into many folks, and and Reynolds is struggling as much as he is. It's tough to really get too worried about this lineup, but still one that can do some damage. But I think Singer's got a big advantage today.
Yeah, I would agree. And not a lot of these Pirates have had success off of him. Looking at the stats, Adam Frazier is the only Pirate that's homered off of him, oddly enough. He's 3 for 9, small sample size, but all 3 of those have been extra base hits for a guy that's not exactly known as a power hitter. Brian Reynolds just 2 for 8 with the double. There's not a ton of guys that have really seen it. I think you mentioned Henry Davis, obviously first overall pick a few years ago out of Louisville, hadn't really worked out, but still a guy with a lot of talent. It'd be nice to see them kind of be able to stop an inning on a 9-hole hitter. Obviously, we saw Luis May walk the 9-hole hitter last night. He ended up getting out of it, but it's for Singer. I definitely think fastball command is just the biggest part of his game today, and being able to work off his 4-seamer, throw his cutter into lefties, maybe even away from righties if that's something he is comfortable doing, and setting up that sinker away to try and get lefties to roll over rather than, hey, they're sitting on this and they're going to hit it out of the ballpark. I think that's huge for Brady Singer today.
One of the big threats in the lineup is ONeal Cruz. He has the power at any time to go deep. So I think if they can kind of, shut him out or, get advantage counts on him early, I think that'll be a big advantage for Brady Singer. And like you mentioned, the bullpen, we've got guys down there, which is nice. Santiago, I expect, will be available. Pagan, Ashcraft, I think all those guys will be up. So probably no May today. But yeah, I think the Reds have a bit of an advantage today with the pitching.
Yeah, and speaking of the bullpen, Ian Jabot activated today, so I believe there's definitely a shot. You get an inning where you normally use Luis May. I think Jabot, obviously, it's still a bad taste in the mouth from opening day, but he's been pretty solid since then. I have no issue with them using Jabot today. I'm about 99% sure we'll see him on the mound at some point, no matter the situation. Unless it's a closing situation, then I think definitely Pagan, with a couple days off, is going to be able to pitch. Hopefully we get this game in today. We mentioned some rain in the area in Pittsburgh. It looks like we have a little gap. Thankfully that the Reds can, avoid a rain out on getaway day, have a day off tomorrow, and then you got a series with the first place Cubs this weekend.
Yeah. If they get up early today with possibility of rain later, I think that would be a big advantage. And then you look ahead to the Cubs series. We won't be on that series, unfortunately, but it'll be really nice Friday to have Hunter Greene back, to get kind of an advantage early in that series, because we know they can't win the final 2 games of series. So it would be nice, get a win today and go into Friday feeling good with Greene on the mound.
Yeah, I fully agree, and we'll leave it up to Mike and Ricky. But on Friday, I believe they're the pairing for the pregame show on Friday. But for the Reds, or for Reds fans, really, I wouldn't expect Hunter Greene to go out and be Hunter Greene against the Giants from earlier this year in his first start back after 2 weeks. I think it's important. A, the Cubs have a fantastic lineup. And then B, I think it's important to manage expectations for Hunter Greene, his first start back off an injury, that pulled him from his last start. Obviously, I hope there's not any, phantom pain there, or he's not comfortable. I hope he's confident in that groin injury and that he's healed and he's ready to go. But I think it's important definitely to manage expectations headed in to his first start back off the IL.
Yeah, and he's not going on a rehab. assignment as well. He's going to be pitching for the first time since Atlanta. So I do wonder about the pitch count. I do wonder if they kind of limit him to 90 or 100 because he's a guy that they'll stretch out. David Bell last year, no issue pushing him 120 pitches, and he kind of did that all year and was pretty good with it. It was pretty good. He was even throwing well in the second half of the year last year. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see what they limit him with on Friday.
I agree. We'll take a quick look around the National League Central. Reds are 4.5 games back in both the division and the wild card. Same spot they were in on Monday, so still some work to do. Cubs and Marlins rubber match at Lone Depot Park today at 1:10. Also, the Orioles and the Brewers are playing at 1:10. Tigers, Cardinals at 1:15. So an all early slate today from the National League Central. You have any predictions, final thoughts for today's game?
I think it's a Reds win. I do think today that they put a lot of runs on the board. I think they're going to get at least 5 or 6 runs. Hopefully early in the game, knock Heaney out and get into that Pirates bullpen that isn't great. So yeah, I do think it's a Reds win today. And hopefully we see Tito put Benson or Lux in at some point if needed.
Yeah, if duty calls for Benson or Lux and Tito's obviously Tito, as long as he doesn't get ejected or something, is making the decisions, I'm hoping that he calls on them. Only prediction for today, a little bit of an odd one. I think Connor Joe hits his first homer in a Reds uniform. I think he's comfortable in that ballpark. Good hitter against left-handed pitching, hit 20 bombs for the Pirates last year. Why not? To hell with it. Connor Joe's hitting a home run today. That's why not?
Yeah.
All right. Reminder about the post-game show. Trace and Nick will be live in the 9th inning later this afternoon. Reds taking on the Pirates, hopefully picking up a series victory today against the Buccos. For Max Alfonso, I'm Hunter Hurst. Again, like the stream. Appreciate everybody watching, and we will see you all next Wednesday.